Hello and welcome back to Recommendations from My Otaku Spouse, or Otafu Susume. I'm Wesley.
And I'm Jen.
So let's get started. Now, it's been a bit since our last episode, but we enjoyed ourselves a bit of a winter break. A bit of a quiet winter break, alone, in isolation, as were many of you listeners, hopefully. And if you weren't, shame on you.
Shame. Ring, 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 ring.
Exactly.
But one thing that we got just before Christmas, actually, you may have noticed, was a new anime opening. Yay!
New anime opening?
Yeah.
What?
New opening music for our podcast. And this one actually is original, so it's not copywritten. It's our own. Yay!
New year, new music, uncopywritten?
I know! Who would have thought? It's almost like we're trying to go a little more legit.
Lies.
Nobody listens to us anyway. What's the point?
I just mean us trying to do anything more legit.
Ouch. We're going to be filthy pirates for the rest of our lives?
I didn't buy this eye patch for nothing. But it is a new year, new us, new podcast. We're back.
Nobody cares.
I cared, dear.
Aww.
No, you are the driving force behind this. I'm just riding on your coattails.
Why did you have to bring out the sentimental stuff? Like, the only reason I do this is because I get to talk with you. And anyway, I'm really not. You're the one that edits it. Otherwise, it would never, ever get out. Anyway.
Now that we've fluffed each other up enough, let's move on to what we're doing.
And what are we doing?
Well, I was thinking, mainly because you put it up on Twitter, that would have a bit of a Q&A.
Well, I did ask you beforehand.
Yeah, but I'm not the one who put it up. You did.
I did.
So, as I said, you put it up on Twitter.
I put it up on Twitter. A call for questions for a short Q&A. Emphasis on short because I forgot we have no listeners.
And because we don't like making long podcasts anyway.
Yes, that too.
So it worked out.
It did, yes. But I want to start the podcast with a question for you.
Uh-oh.
And end the podcast with a question for you. Actually, for both of us.
I'm being put on the spot.
And then we'll have the questions that people asked us in between.
I am in the hot seat.
I mean, it's freezing cold right now.
It is freezing cold, but I've got Hunten, so.
Nobody knows what that is.
It doesn't matter. I know what it is, and it's amazing.
Okay. So I guess we'll get right into the questions then.
Let's do it.
Okay, so what was your favorite episode from last year?
From 2020.
From 2020.
The year 2020.
Correct.
The year that was.
Or wasn't for a lot of people. Can you remember any of the episodes?
No.
Neither can I. That's why I'm looking them up right now.
It does make this question more difficult. No, what I really enjoyed... I mean, I enjoy the nature of the podcast in the first place. I enjoy sharing things with you. And exploring new things. But...
Kinky.
Both... Not in that way, Joe.
Boring.
Here I am, trying to have a heartfelt moment, and you are ruining it.
Sorry.
Story of our marriage.
Ouch.
Now, no, but so when we look at something, even like something that the other person really liked, and we'd sit and we'd talk about it and we'd gush about it, or usually if someone was poking holes in something, it'd be me poking holes because I'm way too judgy. Mm-hmm. We had some fun episodes like that, but I really like the ones where we almost would get slightly off topic. Mm. Both you and I are now pretty deep into the industry of translation, which tangentially relates to a lot of what we talk about, because we talk about movies and anime and manga and video games, and a lot of those that we watch have to in some way be translated.
Or we just watch the Japanese version and ignore the English.
No, but at some point it will be translated.
Yes.
And so from a position of translators, it changes how we approach things. And I really liked the episodes, like, for instance, the last episode we released, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Mm-hmm. We mostly stayed on topic for it, but we did talk a bunch about the game industry and what it means to release games and how stories work, and we got into the translation for that one, and how you work around limitations but still strive to give the best final product that you can. And it's things like that that I really enjoy having those discussions. We have them off tape off recording,
Off digital
Off
recording, off mic.
Off the record?
mic, yes.
we have those kinds of discussions all the time, but it's also really fun to get them recorded. And I really enjoyed doing that with you. There were some of our things that we did over the past year, Return of the Obra Dinn, where I think I enjoyed the conversation more than the game, because as
Yes.
listeners will remember, the game made me just physically sick. Not because of the subject matter, but just because for some reason the way the first
Motion
person was
sickness.
done, I was horribly sick the whole way through it. And so I would prefer if I didn't get horribly sick when watching things. But I still enjoyed the discussion that we had. How about you? What were some of your things that you liked about really the first full year of Otafu?
I like the fact that we actually kept it up, which is a big deal for us.
Well, as I had to put the qualifier there,
Yes.
first full year.
I mean, we started this podcast in, I think,
2019.
no, it was 2018.
It was not.
It was the end of 20.
No, we had our first business meeting at the end of 2018.
Oh, yeah.
Which means we didn't start it till 2019.
Okay, fair enough. And then we did like
We went to Business
our,
Con 2019.
our episode 0 was a breakdown of our favorite anime from the last year.
Episode 0 was you revealing you had no taste and how much you hated Konosuba.
Rude.
But true.
I'm sorry, I like actual animation and characters who aren't assholes.
Oh, it says the person whose favorite anime is Tekken King Creed.
No, I like it. It's art, Wes. It's art.
Give it 20 years and Konosuba will be in the Louvre. Sorry.
Sorry,
in
the loo.
The worst.
I know. So I think in 2018
2019.
2019 we came out with not many episodes.
We were still finding our feet and we were doing the weird double episodes too.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think worked as well.
No. And then once we actually focused on a single thing at a time and could delve into a topic, we were like, oh yeah, this is kicking. Like, I don't know if it's kicking off or not because we don't have any statistics because somebody didn't set it up. But
We're
it
having
was fun. Yeah,
We've
it's fun.
talked to a few people who seemingly have listened to it, which is very strange.
Yeah.
That's kind of always an awkward thing.
Well, I know people who listen to it, and then when we meet them, you don't know that they're listening to them, and then they say, "Oh yeah, I listened to your podcast," and you're like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that to you."
I'm always like, which episode did you listen to? What did I say?
What's wrong with it? Give us feedback, please, for the love of God. Yeah.
On that note, like, comment, subscribe.
I don't think they can.
I don't know. You can like it on Twitter, and you can comment on Twitter, and you can follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, but nobody wants to do that.
Nobody wants to do that.
No.
Twitter's the worst.
It is.
I take it back.
Kenny's the worst.
Kenny's the worst, followed by Facebook, followed by Twitter.
Yes.
Twitter is slightly better because my real name's not attached to it, which means my family's not attached to it, which means there's no obligations that they then have finally given up on me responding to them on Facebook.
So anyway, I was also looking through. I'm totally going to send this to. Oh, I'm going to send this to your aunt.
No, don't do that.
She'll send it to everybody.
Oh.
Anyway, so I was looking through old episodes from the last year, and I think actually my favorite was probably My Dress Up Darling.
That was a fun one, mainly because I'd been gushing about it for so long, and I was so thrilled that you liked it.
Yeah, I like I said it during the episode, I was surprised that I really liked it, and then I started crying. It was a good episode.
It's
a good manga.
Oh, it's so good.
I need to read the latest one.
You do. The story's moving along nicely.
Nice.
They're not like rushing anywhere, but it's not dragging either. To use a Whiplash reference, it's not rushing or dragging, which is great.
What's the Whiplash?
It's a movie about
Rollerblading
drumming and jazz.
Oh, okay. Nah, I don't know.
It's fine. It stars
Okay.
J.K. Simmons. You like him?
Are you recommending this to me?
No.
Okay, good.
You will not like Whiplash.
Okay. You like this guy, but you will not like this movie. Don't watch it. Just don't.
Well, that's fair enough. Moving on then.
Should we get on to another question?
Yeah.
So this is actually from a listener, Jet Pryor. And they ask, what franchises do one of you love but the other one cannot stand? Only counts if you've at least tried to absorb some content from it.
Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
I'm trying to think still, so if you've thought of something.
So I've made it pretty clear in the recording of this podcast that I don't have time for bullshit.
Have you made that clear?
Pretty clear.
Then why are we doing this podcast?
Well, like sitting around telling jokes, connecting with my wife, having a good time, having intelligent conversations.
Having what now?
Anyway, those are all good things. But I think I've made it pretty clear in the podcast that if something isn't rubbing me the right way, I'm not going to stick with it.
Phrasing.
What, as the actress said to the bishop? Is that the British way of saying that?
I don't know. So what's the point you're getting to?
Well, the point I'm getting to is I will drop things without remorse. If I'm not connecting to a manga or an anime or a video game, I will drop it. I will not power through it because there's so much out there. If I'm not enjoying it, why am I going to do it? And so when someone asks a question, what's something that you loathe? It's a difficult question for me because loathe implies a lot of emotion.
Not necessarily loathe, but what's something that I love, a franchise, that you cannot stand?
Well,
so it's best, it kind of...
Cannot stand, loathe, whatever. It implies an intensity of emotion.
True, and you have no emotion.
It's true. Usually, because I'm so quick to drop things, I'll go to apathy instead. Where
Okay.
I just don't care about
So what's
some
something
things.
that I love that you are apathetic about?
Legend of Korra.
I knew you were going to say that. I absolutely knew you were going to say that.
I didn't watch the original Avatar forever.
I made you watch it.
No, it was actually your co-host on Fujoshi Trash and her husband, the co-host of Real Japan, who sat me down and finally made me watch it.
Well, thank you, Josh and Stacey.
Because they sat down and they showed me the Ember Islands Player episode.
Oh, yes.
And then I went off and watched the rest of it. I think I did watch most of it with you, but they're the ones who kicked the ball rolling. But Legend of Korra couldn't do it for me, and I had no interest in that whatsoever. But you've also recognized that. You're not, when you...
I swear I've tried for years to try and get you to watch it. And
you've
been like, no. Like, fine, I'll leave you, fine, we won't watch it.
I'm never going to. And there's similar things along those veins. For instance, to say another one that you're going to immediately give me that horrible, shocked, injured, hurt face that you can't believe I've said it.
Why would you say that? Oh, sorry, you haven't said it yet.
Outside of watching you play it, I have no interest in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Okay.
As I say to you as a disclaimer, they're not good games, but they are fun and really stupid. But they're not good games, and you can tell that the people writing the stories had no idea what they were doing.
You were trying to get me to watch enough of it that would understand when we got to Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yes.
And we got to Chain of Memories, and even you gave up.
Yes.
I'm just throwing that out there.
But I do love Kingdom Hearts.
Which is fine.
I still need to play 3. Well, to be fair, you said that you wanted to watch me play it all the way through so you could understand what the story was like. And I was like, even if you watch it, you're not going to understand the story.
Well, I gave you a pretty good rundown of the first one.
That's true.
Not Kingdom Hearts 1, but the chronological first one.
Yes. Birth by Sleep.
Yes. Starring Ventus, but you can call him Ven.
Exactly. Some of it stuck.
Oh, I put that line in a work I did recently, so we'll see how well this goes.
Oh, no. So, something that I...
Yeah, so what's something that I like
that
you just absolutely can't stand, but that you've tried?
I'm going to have to say Warhammer. Hammer fist.
So
I have tried Warhammer. I have tried playing it. I have bought models and I've painted them and I tried it and I just don't like it. It's boring.
This is really unfair because the only time you bought models and tried it was when we were doing this long distance, and you never actually played Warhammer with me.
I'm really glad I didn't.
Bullshit.
I had a couple of cute little...
I think also...
Space Wolves? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, Space Wolves. The absolute worst chapter of Space Marines. So you buy them when I'm not there. You paint them when I'm not there. You play them when I'm not there. And you choose the absolute worst chapter of Space Marines.
They had little claws and fluffy little jackets, but I still didn't like the game.
You can't even say you gave it a fair try when you play Space Wolves.
And then you like tell me stories about the lore, and I'm just looking at you with this glazed look over my eyes, like I have no no idea what you're talking about.
The lore is
It's Kingdom Hearts level.
obtuse.
That's what I said. Kingdom Hearts level.
And anyone who tries to make sense of the lore is doing themselves a disservice. And
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts level.
And the more they try to explain the lore, the less sense it makes.
Kingdom Hearts! It's Kingdom Hearts for you!
Shit, it is. I'm thinking about it, and they actually try to make their own Keyblade.
Oh, what?
One of the whole side stories is about this grim, dark idiot who travels the world, who travels the universe, trying to return a broken blade to its master so it can be reforged so that he can bring about the end time. It's the Keyblade.
It's the Keyblade!
But not the Keyblade.
It's the Keyblade.
The Keyblade.
The Keyblade.
With the Greek letter. We're going to get a Kingdom Hearts Hammer Fist crossover where it turns out that Cypher's been Norded this whole time.
I bet you that's a thing. I bet you anything.
Speaking of which, let me introduce you to this week's sponsors, NordVPN. When you're looking to be protected from everything good in the world, just get Xehanort.
Are we doing a new bit now?
I can't help it. You don't know
We
this.
watch too many YouTube videos that have, and now for today's sponsor.
Every YouTube video has that nowadays.
So actually,
Can you imagine if it actually was Xehanort, though?
What?
Like someone goes to
not
the-
protect.
Like someone goes to the sponsor section and their eyes turn yellow.
Oh my god.
I'm clearly evil now, but no one knows because I've taken over this young, nubile body. You're going to regret having shown me Kingdom Hearts.
For someone who doesn't like Kingdom Hearts, you do know an awful. Yeah.
Oh, I am awful. Sorry. Next question.
Well, actually, this question is along a similar vein, so I don't know if what we already said covers it. But Kenny asks, I would love to know what titles outside of Kimono Friends do you both adamantly disagree on? Have you ever finished a game, TV show, or movie together and did the simultaneous, that was amazing, / I absolutely hated that?
I don't think we ever said that about Kimono Friends. Maybe he means Konosuba?
I think he means Konosuba. Jeez, Kenny, listen to the podcast.
Hashtag blame Kenny.
Blame Kenny. Kenny's the worst.
I never watched Kimono Friends.
Didn't you?
No.
It was actually really good.
It's CG about a girl named Bag who meets up with cute animals?
Yes.
Well, there you go. I have the gist of it.
Yeah. That's all you need to know. It's very educational.
So it would have been something that would have been new for both of us.
Yeah.
I think there's been some movies we walked out of the theater like that.
Where I was like, oh, that's good. And you were like, eh. Or vice versa.
Brave. You liked Brave and I did not like Brave a bit.
Evidently, Brave, Cora, you just hate stories about adolescent girls.
And yet I was the one pushing Sailor Moon?
No, adolescent, not spoiled.
Whoa, hold up. Hold up.
What?
Sailor Moon's amazing.
Yes, but I mean, Legend of Korra and Brave are both kind of coming of age stories for adolescent women.
And Sailor of Moon isn't. Sailor of Moon. Sailor Moon.
Sailor of Moon. Jeez, what are you going to get, like, characters' names wrong next?
Yeah, thanks, Stacy. What else?
We have pretty similar tastes.
I didn't care much for Miss Marvel, and I think you like that
I
movie.
really liked Miss Marvel.
Yeah, but I was also getting pretty burned out on Marvel as a whole at the time.
And again, we know you don't like stories about women. Just the look you're giving me right now. I'm joking. I'm partially joking.
Partially joking. Usually we're pretty on board with things.
No. I know one.
What is it?
Death of Stalin.
I loved Death of Stalin.
I hate Death of Stalin. Well, I don't hate
You
it.
didn't hate it?
I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it.
You had like a nervous twitch by the end because you had no idea what was happening. It was adorable.
You were like, oh my god, this is an amazing dark comedy. And I'm like, this is a thriller.
Death of
What
Stalin
the hell?
was amazing.
No, it wasn't. It was nerve-wracking, and I wasn't too sure whether to take it seriously or whether to be afraid or nervous, and so I was just nervously giggling the whole way through. Mostly just nervous. and you were cracking up, and I'm like, I don't get it. Explain this to me. What's happening? I don't understand.
I suppose not on exactly what he's asking, but there have been some, like, when we sat down to watch Princess Connect, I knew nothing about it beyond supposedly the humor was slightly similar to Konosuba, and it was all food-based, and I'd seen the one clip where Pecorin runs off to find the guy's medicine, and they steal her sword. That's it. That's all I knew about it walking in, was that one scene and those little bits of information. And so when we went into that with the idea that it was maybe slightly similar to Konosuba, which I didn't tell you because I wanted you to watch it, I didn't know how you're going to react.
I do. I like Konosuba. I just like ragging on it more.
Well, that's fair enough.
But yeah, no, I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, so there have... Normally, I try to make sure that when I recommend things to you, it's things that I think you'll like. Like, I may throw things at you that are outside of your traditional comfort zone, but I still try to make sure that they're things that I think you'll like. But that would probably be one of the closer ones to, I don't know if this one's going to go over well.
Fair enough. I'm glad it went down really well. So Kenny also asked another question.
Uh-oh.
He said, also, what titles do you both share the same intense passion for? Anything Disney? Lilo and Stitch?
Disney can be hit or miss. You and I usually agree on what we like and don't like on Disney. But especially recently...
I guess he specifically said titles. Do we both share the same intense passion for?
Oh, intense passion. I don't know. That's difficult because we do have our own favorites. Like, you're really big on Hagaren. Like...
Well, that comes from, like, my teenage years.
But even still... If you were to make a top 5 anime/manga list,
Hagaren is number 1.
Hagaren's going to be on there.
Yeah.
100. And Hagaren I really enjoyed.
But it's not going to make
but it's not going to make my best of list. Sorry, yeah, Full Metal Alchemist.
But it's so good.
Like, and you and I both really like Ghibli movies.
But we have very different favorites.
And you and I, we actually, coincidentally, we were just talking the other night about, what's your favorite Disney movies? What's your favorite Ghibli movies? And we both enjoyed what the other ones said, but we didn't have the same ones at the top of our list.
That is true.
So what is one that we both intensely like?
Intensely? Yuru Camp.
Oh, shut up.
I mean, also Eureka.
If this podcast did nothing else, it at least revealed what I have to put up with on a daily basis.
You love my puns.
Oh my goodness.
Our passion for puns.
We do have a passion for puns, that's true.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, game-wise, we have very different tastes. Like, your favorite Final Fantasy is different from my favorite Final Fantasy.
I really liked Red Dead Redemption when you made me play that.
Yeah, that was fun. But I wouldn't say intense passion for.
That's true.
Yeah, I think that's one of the fun things is that we have overlapping interests, but they're not exactly the same.
Yeah. It's like a mountain range. We're in the same mountains, but we have different peaks.
That's kind of poetic.
I write for a living, dear.
So do I, but that's sweet. I'm quoting that. So, sorry, Kenny, but we don't know.
As soon as we go off the air, we're going to think of something.
Oh, yeah, probably. Definitely. Should I ask the next question?
Yeah.
So, Piper asks, have you ever enjoyed something so much that you felt the desire to work on its localization? If so, what?
100%.
Really? What?
100%. I mean...
I don't know that show, 100%. What is it?
I mean, if you ask any translator, they're going to answer that, yes, they've had that passion. They've sat down and they've read something or watched something or played something or somewhere they go, I would do horrible things. Sorry, I was trying to come up with something that I could say on the air that wouldn't immediately just...
I mean, I'm pretty sure you could... I think I would kill for is normally an acceptable
I'd already moved past
idiom.
that in my head.
But the fact that you said I will do horrible things made it so much worse.
I moved past that first one.
So much worse.
So, but no, they're just... like, the things that you just want to work on so much. Every translator's going to have one of those.
Okay.
And I will speak for myself in that I've been lucky enough that I got one of them.
Ooh. Can we say what, or you don't know? You don't.
I don't
want
to give the exact title
Okay,
because I don't like
don't
talking
worry
about
then.
that. But I was sitting there one night, and one of my clients posted on Twitter that they had secured a license for a manga, and it was a manga that I loved, and I got in touch with them, and I got assigned that, and I've been working on it now for years.
Which is lucky because normally when you contact them, they'll be like, "Oh, sorry, we've already got somebody working on this."
Yeah, I mean,
Which is yeah.
a lot of the times when something's been announced, it's, I mean, not to ruffle any feathers or give away any secrets, it's probably been assigned to someone and it's probably being worked on. So the fact that they hadn't yet and that I got it blows my mind, especially now that I know more, because that's when I was first getting into the whole freelancing thing. But I got it, and I've been working on it. I've been really enjoying it. So that was amazing. But there's, yeah, I mean, there's so many things that you sit there and you see a fun play of words, or you're watching a show, or just something, you're like, first the question is, how would I translate it? And then it's, I want to translate it.
Yeah. Or, I know the perfect translation for that. Like, actually, funnily enough, I also saw, when I was freelancing, a client announced a license, and I was like, I really want to work on that. And I messaged them, and they're like, sorry, we've already got somebody working on it. I'm like, no. And since then, I've been like, I really want to work on basically anything by Susume no. Like, I want to eat your pancreas, Yoru no Bakemono, I can't remember what the English title for that is, like Become a Monster in the Night. Just, I want to translate one of his books, but all of my friends keep translating his books, and I'm like, damn it, I really want to translate that. No, but I'm working in-house now, and I can't freelance on the side, but I really want to.
Yeah, it's...
So, yeah. Anything by Yoru Sumino is, I want to work on something like that.
I remember the last translation test I took. I had to translate a 5-page passage from a novel.
And it was a Yoru Sumino one!
Oh, was that...
Yeah, that was him!
It was, that 5-page passage was so good. It actually made me want to, I was like, oh, I'd love to work on the rest of this. And you told me a friend of yours was already doing
that's
it.
why I said all of my friends are translating his novels, but not me.
just the 5-page passage was enough that I went...
He's such a good writer.
Not to spill any ink here or anything like that, but he also writes novels and not light novels.
Yes.
And I could tell
that's a
in
whole
the passage...
other discussion.
But I could tell in the passage the difference, in that it was tight and well written and well characterized, and yeah, just that those 5 pages made me go, oh yeah, I'd keep doing this. Why not? But you know, they'd already given it to someone. That's why not. So there you
go. So yeah, that's my answer. Now I'm sad. Thanks, Piper.
More tongue-in-cheek answer to that. We recorded a recent episode on the new Digimon card game.
Yes.
And the English translation for the Digimon card game has issues.
Well, I mean... I'm
going to leave it at that. No, I'm not. I'm going to go in depth. There are problems, both with the translation and with the quality control. But, there's a new set coming out where they have just forgotten to print half the text on 2 cards.
Oops.
In the new set.
Oops.
Okay. The cards aren't out in the wild yet, but they've released the official images, and the official images that they've released on their website are missing half the text.
Oops.
So, shout out to Bandai if you got anyone listening and you're looking for a freelance translator to check your translations / do your translations / do quality control. Hit me up, brah, because I love the game and I really want it to succeed. And if that means tightening up the work so that it's all nice and crispy, I mean, I'm sure we could come to an agreement.
I guess that is the problem with game translation, is if you don't have somebody who knows the mechanics, at least with board game and card game translation, if you don't know the mechanics, then it's really hard to translate it, especially if you only give your translators the text and not any context.
That's true. And not even just board and card games. I remember I was telling you about one recently, where it was an Italian translation of a video game, and for resume on the start screen, they translated it as CV. Oh
no! Actually recently there was one
Ouch.
Where I think somebody must have used Google Translate, because instead of like a video trailer, it was a truck trailer.
Nice.
So yeah, so it says trailer, but in this other language, it doesn't say trailer. Like, oh no. Oh no. Oh.
Heads up, folks, if you're ever translating from English into Japanese, forget all those words and just write PV.
Yes. So last question, because like I said, not many people listen to our podcast. Thank you so much to the people who did leave questions, though.
Yes, that was I like those questions.
Yeah, I really, really like them too.
Except for Kenny, who doesn't listen to us and said something about Kimono Friends, but
yes, well, Kenny's the worst. We already know. So last question from me to you is: what do we want to recommend to each other this year? What do you want to recommend to me this year? What do I want to recommend to you? Or what,
So I'm going to tie this back into the first question of the podcast.
Okay.
And then, coincidentally, I brought it up slightly during one of my other answers.
The plot thickens.
Despite the fact that you and I now live in Japan, we don't really watch much anime anymore. And
yeah, you're absolutely right. And I kind of feel bad for that.
Last year, one of the episodes I really liked that I waited to bring up because I wanted to bring it up now was the one where we each recommended each other something for a season.
Yes.
And then we talked about it.
Yes.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. And so I don't know if we should do it every season, especially considering that we're already a month into the current season.
I think we could give a couple of episodes a try, and it might actually get us back into watching anime.
But I think that's kind of, along with other things that we do, I don't want to only do that or anything like that.
Oh, we've been playing a lot of games lately.
We've been playing a lot of games, we've been watching a lot of movies.
I've been reading a lot.
All sorts of things. So, but on top of that, when possible, I think it would be fun to pick, either an anime for each other or one anime for the season that we're both interested in, and we sit down and we watch it and we talk about it. There's so many anime, we're not going to watch it all. We're not going to nearly get to the numbers we might have once, but try to pick out the creme de la creme.
Oh, the crap de la crap.
It's anime.
It's hit or miss. So I have already recommended a couple of things to you that you have on the back burner right now.
Yes.
And so I definitely want to talk about those.
Okay.
When we finish them, or when you finish them. Apart from that, I've been thinking about maybe recommending a novel to you, but I think that's even harder to talk about because there's something nice about games and anime and manga and stuff because they're a very visual medium. So although I would love to recommend books to you, I don't think I can. And likewise, I think, like you said, I'd like to talk more about some more anime. I think I'd also like to talk more about something like translation involved things, because I find we always have really interesting discussions when we talk about that.
Can I give a spoiler for next episode?
Sure.
So, assuming plans don't change, we're going to be talking next about Spy Family.
Yes.
And as I said earlier, you are the guiding light of this podcast, and you went above and beyond and read some of the official translation for Spy Family.
Yes.
Which I did not.
I mean, it's the first few chapters are free online.
Yes. Well, I still haven't done it because I'm a horrible person. And so
just to clarify that I've read it in Japanese and then read some of the English.
Yes. Yeah. So when possible, that might be a good idea then. And that we experience the material, whatever it is, and then we also look at the translation that was not done by us so that we can critique it and be just general assholes.
Yay!
But also give, all the accolades where they're due. Because there, as we just found with FF7 Remake, there are great translations out there, and they deserve to be celebrated.
And they're not all resumes.
Yes. So maybe that's an idea, is that we can keep recommending these things as we're going to, and we can watch them, but on some level we'll also find the translations so that we can not just talk about what we're watching on superficial levels and maybe perhaps get lost in the weeds every once in a while.
Get lost in the weebs? Well, I guess we are watching anime and manga. Crap, where did Wes go? There are too many weebs about. Oh, wait, no, it's a virus. It's a pandemic. I can't actually get lost in the weebs. So anyway,
SoccerCon's been canceled. There's no gatherings.
So I would this year I think we should definitely talk more about some manga, and actually I've got a lot of manga and anime, and then talk about translation.
Sounds
That
like
is
a
my
plan.
goal for this year. And my goal is to get an episode out every 2 weeks. Hopefully. Maybe not.
We're pretty close last year.
Yeah, we did good.
We did good. So let's do it again.
Yeah.
Well,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Jen.
At the end of January. Thanks so much for listening.
Happy New Year to all of our listeners. Thanks to those
All 5 of them.
Thanks to those who submitted questions.
Thank you so much.
I hope that the answers you got were satisfactory.
And this episode wasn't a boring filler episode. God, those are the worst.
Hey, could have been worse. Could have been a recap episode.
Oh no! Oh no!
I will say it's been 15 years now. 15?
15 years?
15 years now since Gurren Lagann came out.
Okay.
And it still makes me laugh that like the 4th episode was so racy they had to do a filler episode by episode 4.
And then you've got things like Girls and Panzer where it was so cheap they had to do a filler episode on episode 4.
Yeah, they ran out of budget, but that was
They ran out of
entirely
budget
different.
fast.
Speaking of which, they've announced that the next one coming out.
Oh, so we could watch it and talk about it?
Yes,
Because we haven't done a Girls and Panzer episode yet.
that's true.
And you definitely recommended that to me, and I cannot watch it without you explaining everything to me.
Thanks. Oh, sorry, we made this a British goodbye now.
Oh, yes, we did.
Thank you to everyone for listening. This has been another episode of Otafu Susume.
I was Jen.
I was Wesley, and I will be going forward.
Excellent. Good to hear. I don't know if I will or not.
I kind of hope you will be.
Well, I'll be Wes going forward.
No, be it. If you like this, please leave comments. Please give feedback. Please do whatever you want. But I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.